All right, everyone, John Savarino here, and this is Talking Money. Before we go any further, do me one quick favor, hit that like button below. If you can't hit that like button, then leave a comment and tell me why. In today's video, we're going to be discussing provisional income and how provisional income tells us how much of our Social Security becomes taxable income. Now first, let's go over how we calculate provisional income. We're going to be talking about these tax buckets. If you're looking at this video and you say, what are these tax buckets? We'll leave the link below, but I highly recommend that you watch one of our earlier videos, and that discusses how our income is going to be taxed in retirement from these various tax buckets, as we call them. But provisional income is going to be a calculation or equation that's going to take all income from this first bucket, right? That taxable bucket. So whether it be 1099 interest from our savings account, whether it be, some dividends paid into a brokerage account, all of that is going to be considered in our provisional income. If you have a pension, just imagine your pension flowing right through this taxable bucket and also be included in your provisional income. Next is going to be any income from our tax-deferred bucket, aka bucket 2. So if you're retired taking distributions from, say, a 401k, you are going to include those gross distributions. Maybe you're 75, being required to take distributions from a traditional IRA, you are going to include those distributions in this provisional income. And then lastly, you're going to take half of your household Social Security. So if you're married, filing jointly, both taking Social Security, add those two up, divide it in half. If you're single, add your gross Social Security, divide in half, include that in this provisional income calculation. Now, what those three add to is going to give you your provisional income. And what that number equals to is going to determine how much of your Social Security is going to be taxable. So let's look at a single filer. So if that number falls between 0 and 25,000, no worries. You're going to keep all of your Social Security and none of it's going to be considered taxable income for that year. If that falls between 25 and 34,000, then either half of your Social Security is going to be considered taxable, or half of what's above 25,000 is going to be considered taxable. It's the lesser of the two. So keep that in mind. But I also want to make it really clear. You're not going to get taxed 50% on your Social Security. Just half of your Social Security is going to be included in your taxable income for that year, subject to your highest ordinary income tax rate. And then lastly, if that number, or if it equals to $34,000 or higher, then 85% of your Social Security benefits are going to be included in your taxable income for that particular year. But once again, if 85% above this threshold from a provisional income perspective, or whatever this equals to, is lesser than 85% of your total Social Security tax benefits, then that's what you're going to include. So let me make that threshold a little bit more clear for folks watching. It's either going to be 85% of the threshold above this number, or 85% of your total Social Security benefits, whatever is the lesser of the two, is what you're including in your taxes for that particular year. And then lastly, if you're married filing jointly, it's going to be between 0 and 32,000. None of it is considered taxable income, or gross income, 32 to 44,000, then half of it's going to be included. Once again, either half of whatever's above this threshold, aka 32,000, or half of your total Social Security benefits for that year. And then lastly, 44,000 or more, 85% is going to be considered for that particular year. So understanding provisional income is really important, especially if you haven't quite taken your Social Security benefits yet. Maybe you're considering, some tax planning such as Roth conversions, and, deciding the timing of those, and, how maybe getting more money moved from here to hear and lessening this number could actually save you some Social Security taxation in retirement. Just really understanding provisional income could really help your bottom dollar in a big, big way in retirement. If this is confusing to you, then I highly recommend reaching out to either your financial advisor, giving us a call at 815-918-4727, or just using a qualified professional, to walk you through provisional income and how understanding it could benefit your situation. So once again, hit that like button for me, leave a comment below, subscribe, hit the notification button, please. And as always, we'll talk money soon.